Giving pledge is something I believe you and Bill Gates decided. How did that happen first? How did it start?
About 5 years ago, we were talking, Bill and Melinda and I, and we got the idea first of calling David Rockefeller and seeing if he'd get together a little dinner in New York for some people. And Mayor Bloomberg was there, and David hosted it, and Eli Broad was there with Edie, and Julian Robertson, Oprah Winfrey, we had about 15 of us, and I asked people, I started one part of the table, and I asked people just to talk about their philosophy of giving, not necessarily what they particularly did, but why do it, and how do they think about it. It took 2.5 hours to get around the table, and I knew we had something then, that it was something that a lot of wealthy people, some people they become wealthy sort of, and all of a sudden they discover they're wealthy, and they really haven't thought about what they do with their money.
Warren, tell me just what it is in general. I'm not sure everybody totally.
Oh yeah, well the pledge. Then what the pledge came out of this was we organized this group, which now has 127 members, and these are people, and we worked on billionaires, and we asked them to morally pledge, not legally pledge, but morally pledge they will give away at least half of their net worth during their life or at death. And I have been very pleasantly surprised, as I've called a lot of people, and Bill's called more than I've called, and we have gotten 127 people with.
What's your batting average? Like,
well, it was.
What's the denominator?
It was pretty good. But the most. Every now and then somebody tells me, all of these people have got $1 billion at least according to Forbes, and some of them say, I'm not sure I can do it, So I think there's a market for a book I'm going to write, which is going to be called "How to Get By on 500 Million." There are a lot of people out there. Don't laugh at these people. They're out there wrestling with that problem.
That's why I asked.
But the batting average.
Yeah, what's the batting average?
The batting average was pretty high initially. It's less high as we go along because we've had most of the people that either agreed with us initially or quickly came around. But some people they changed their minds on it and
changed their mind positive
in a positive direction. Yeah,
and you didn't have anybody ever say okay. But by the way, I'm only going to go with 4.
No. But I've got plenty of people that just don't want to do it. But we've turned it, it's more than what I've just described because we have a meeting every year, we have learning sessions on different subjects like education. Mm-hmm. The idea is that we can learn from each other. People are often very interested in how different families handle it. They wonder, should I bring my kids into this? How will they feel about it? And particularly if they've inherited a lot of money themselves, they wonder if they're sort of breaking a covenant with the past if they don't pass it all on because it got passed on to them. So there's all kinds of questions come up. And we try to have various sessions that address that. And we had, at this last meeting we had a very well-known fellow who's a very smart guy. And he talked about his mistakes in philanthropy, which I think is, it's helpful to people. So it's been productive so far. We ask people to write letters as to why they do this, and if you go to givingpledge.org, you can read all these letters, and I think those letters will have an effect 10 and 50 and maybe 100 years from now in terms of what other people of wealth do with their money.
What's great about it is